Hello everyone, welcome back to another RuneScape developer Q&A session. I am Mod Kelpie. I am joined by other people today. We will get onto that. There's the hand of Mod Pi. We will be talking to him a little bit later, as well as Mod, Avatar, Ramen and Deg as we discuss God Wars. They're currently sitting over the computers. We'll be going over to them shortly. And as I said, God Wars Dungeon, that is the kind of theme for today. But I'm just going to start off with some news. So first of all, let's discuss Invention. The Invention skilling update was our main release yesterday. We brought in the ability to augment your hatchets and fishing equipment. You can expect further Invention updates throughout the rest of the year, which will include some more skilling updates. I think we've kind of said already that we'll probably be bringing kind of like mining along with the mining and smithing rework, so you can expect further stuff from that. One of the big topics that did come out of it was the rebalance to disassembling tier 70 and 90 weapons. We understand that a lot of people are unhappy with the nerf to the tier 70 weapons, but I can say this isn't something we're looking to revert. We are happy with the changes we made. And of course, there is the buff to the tier 90 stuff that will give people more of an incentive to augment their higher level weapons and reward them for using more charges. However, saying that, we do know that regarding the drain rate of divine energy, we realize that the cost to operate augmented weapons is still high enough to be off-putting, and that is something we are looking to address in the future. And as for just the general future Invention, I cannot guarantee there won't be further changes. We will continue to monitor the skill, and if we decide to make changes, it will be because we believe it is best for both the game and for the players in the long term. So that's kind of just my bit on Invention. Obviously, it's a developer Q&A. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. I believe Mod JD is the one monitoring the chat today, so we'll be taking your questions. Another thing, which is almost like breaking news, is talk of Jagex acquisition. We have released a statement in the past half an hour, I believe, which we now brought up onto the screen. So this is I'm not going to read this word for word, but this is just something that Mod Balance has posted. There's been a number of articles written today about this. I believe Mod JD is putting links into the chat now. If you want to click on that and read that stuff further. But I won't be taking questions about that today. That's all we'll be saying for that for now. To stay tuned on the forums and stuff for more stuff about that. And what else? This weekend is the beta weekend for NXT again. So for those who are eligible for that, are Gold Premier Club members, anyone who's had consecutive membership since January 2014, anyone whose account was created before the 1st of March 2006 and has had membership at least once on that account between January 16th and 17th of March 2016, and then holders of the Game Breaker title will also be involved. So that will be over this weekend. I'm sure there'll be many people live streaming that if you want to check that out again. Okay then, that's kind of like the main news. I'll now be joined by Mod Pi as we answer a few general questions before we go over to the computers for some God Wars Dungeon stuff. So, hello Mod Pi, how are you? Did you enjoy Pi Day yesterday?
Pi Day, yeah, it was nice. I got a lot of nice tweets. I was pretty happy with the day. Yeah,
good stuff. Did you eat any pies?
I didn't actually. I know I'm supposed to be Mod 8 all the pies, but I actually didn't eat any. Sorry.
Oh, no. Okay, so let's kick it off. So kind of we just talked about the weekend. Gary123 asks, will we be eligible for the Game Breaker title if we report bugs?
So Game Breaker title. So during the NXT beta, you are eligible for the Game Breaker title, but it's worth saying that to get Game Breaker title is rather special.
Yeah.
I believe last weekend we gave it to one person.
Yes, we did.
And that one person ran almost every single quest in the game
Yes.
and categorically logged every single bug he found across a seriously huge amount of quests. So that's kind of what it takes. The people that got it...
That person has gone really above and beyond to
Yeah,
earn that title.
you have to impress us, basically.
Yeah.
You have to seriously... You need to do as good as RQA, effectively.
Yeah. And when,
get Game
when
Breaker.
people are like that, they're setting a kind of like target of what
they
you
set
need
the
to
bar.
achieve, sort of thing. You know, I believe it was like over 400 bugs that was listed and stuff. Obviously, not every single one of them are like a critical bug and stuff like that. But as you said, like properly, thoroughly gone through and reported every issue, which is great to see. Okay then. One Wonder asks, can free-to-play players get the ability to repair barrows so they can sell them?
Maybe. We're looking into this. It might be a bigger job than it seems on the surface because a lot of things to do with the degrade system are actually tagged as members only. So we have to dig a little bit deeper to make sure it works for free to play. It's something we'd like to do. It's not like a quick change we can make. We need to dig deep and make sure it works.
Cool. Chigsy asks, and this is kind of one more for me, but you can obviously give your input as well, was Mog Kelpie, that's me, hey, put up a survey recently to do with bank changes.
Yeah.
And he asked, when will we likely see these changes? I mean, I think you can say, like, bank is not the easiest thing to work with, is it?
No, it's not. So the answer is not soon, TM. Because this is we constantly give replies and it's spaghetti code.
Yeah.
So the next bank rework is
I
actually
hate spaghetti code.
So we're
It's
currently
embarrassing.
looking at a bank rewrite instead of a bank rework to allow us to add new things in future. However, with a rewrite of something as important as the bank, it has to be done correctly. You know, like I remember when I first was in Game Engine, I had to rewrite part of the way inventories work, and some of the bugs that occurred during that scared the living hell out of me. Like things were being deleted from banks, etc. Like we can't rush this one. So the answer really is not soon, TM, but we're looking to just completely rewrite the bank effectively.
Yeah, I have to say that is not a guaranteed thing.
No, no.
My response to that was, don't expect anything, and if you do receive anything, then yay.
Yay.
But yeah, I mean, definitely it's not guaranteed stuff. It's purely investigational work at the moment.
Yeah.
To see sort of thing, but it's definitely something we would like to do, because like we play the game, and pretty much every time you log in, you interact with the bank. So it's something we like to improve, sort of thing. Yeah. Okay, next one. Parit PPC asks, are legendary pets going to be reworked so their scavenging effect becomes more reliable rather than detrimental?
You're asking the wrong person.
So luckily I did ask for days.
Good, thank you.
And he said there is, whilst kind of like we're aware of issues that some players have with them, it's not currently something that they plan to do. However, he did kind of say maybe it's a ninja job. So
maybe we add it to the list for discussion next Monday.
Yeah, maybe we will look into that.
Cool.
So potentially, but again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. Cool. Next one. Can you prevent desert heat from closing the reward interface from treasure trails?
No. We did discuss this, but in general, if you're entering the desert, you should take with you something to stop desert heat. Like it should actually be a thing that you should take with you. So the fact that you're not taking it with you means you're doing something wrong. So why would we just allow you to bypass that mechanic?
Yeah.
It's practically ignorable anyway, which I believe is why people aren't taking anything to deal with it. But just take an enchanted water tiara. Like that thing has devalued desert heat for many years.
When we had the anniversary cake in, that I used that to, when I was doing divination, I just had the anniversary cake in my inventory.
Yeah, desert heat does nothing nowadays, really.
Yeah. Okay, Galahad Sir asks, have you considered, instead of removing mobilizing armies, changing the rewards so that actually playing the game properly gives the most rewards?
We did consider this, and we came to the decision that it's the gameplay that sucks in mobilizing army, not the rewards. So to be harsh about it, like I discussed this with a player recently, and if the only reason we have for keeping something in the game is a trim wreck,
Yeah.
should that be in the game? And we don't want new players coming across mobilizing armies and just going, well, this is rubbish. Like, what can I expect from the rest of the game?
Yeah.
Admittedly, mobilising armies isn't exactly in a new player area, but we just don't want new players and people coming into RuneScape seeing something that bad. Like, the rewards will be redistributed, but like mobilising armies is terrible.
There was a thread on the Ninja forums that I responded to and kind of gave a bit of a statement to, was that you removing mobilising armies. It was something that I kind of mentioned in a live stream a couple of live streams ago, really to just get like a feeling, like a reaction to see what people say. And I've certainly got that because people have been asking questions about it.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of passionate views both sides, understandably.
And it's not something like we're actually like looking to change like straight away.
No, like to be honest, I don't think there's even actually a job for it, is there?
Like rat pits, we mentioned removing rat pits like a year ago, or more than that maybe, and definitely longer than that internally. And it's only maybe next week we might actually be removing rat pits.
Spoilers.
And rat pits is a little bit of a different case to mobilising armies as well. So nothing's decided yet. It's not going to be something instantly, but we are still considering it, sort of thing. And as you said, like it's not something I really want to push new players towards.
No.
And if we do stuff, like we will consider like keeping the area, keeping the teleports,
of course,
the rewards, redistributing them and stuff like that. So
yeah.
That's what I'll say for that. Basically, I'm saying like don't ask me any more questions for a while. Okay, time for something a bit different and a lot more exciting. We're going to head over to the computers now, where we have the watch team, and I believe they're going to be showing off Sliske boss.
Yeah.
Getting some nods from there, so let's head over there now.
Hello. With a watch. And we're going to show you the boss fight named Gregorovic. You might have already seen him on the BTS last week. And you might have seen him in the Tales of the God Wars. But we're going to see him.
Of artwork and stuff being going around. Had a cool poem.
So yes, no, there was a great poem about him on Reddit actually. It was very, very flavourful, and I wish I remembered that player's Reddit name, but I don't. So this is the environment that the fight's going to take place in. It's pretty much there now. I think
Mod Chili's been doing really good job.
If we ignore the yellow cube.
Well, yeah. But no, he's been doing a really good job of making all of the areas feel very different.
Yes.
Even though the whole area is basically, it is all in one place. Each of the kind of faction areas and wings have come up really nicely. They've all got their own cool look to them.
And this one, like we're not looking at this in NXT either, where it looks even nicer, except we keep breaking it in our version in our version of the game. But I like that this one's got this really spooky feel. I think if you look quite closely just over the interface, you can see like fog rolling over the floor and all the bones and stuff. I think it's pretty cool.
We're quickly going to jump into the boss. We'll get hit a couple of times and then we'll teleport out, just because we don't want to show too much of the bosses. We want to leave that for you guys upon release.
Also, points to anyone who sees the exciting thing on the interface.
Whoa, let's go.
That isn't normal, which we will explain later, but anyone who's looking out might saw something interesting there. So yeah, that's the spawn anim. There's a few attacks. Ooh, poison, ouch. That happens. That's a spoiler.
2 more. Whoa. Oh.
Oh, what's going on?
3 more.
What's going on? No, you're out. You're out. There's too much.
We're
Spoiler town.
Oh.
The Soror game for today.
Right. Oh.
We don't want.
That was good.
We don't want all you people watching this and having the tactics already figured out before day one. Yeah, so that's a quick preview of the sort of things he does. He does some ranged attacks. He does a little bit of poison. There's things to start thinking about. What equipment am I going to bring? Maybe I want to bring an anti-poison. Maybe the Venom Blood perk is really useful. Ideas. Just think about that.
Should we show off what this one drops?
Yeah. So
them.
we're going to show some of the unique rewards you're going to get from Gregorovic. A player kit inspired by him. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, well this is some of the gear that we're going to be giving away. Just kind of similar to God Wars 1. We've got something a little different going on. We've got kind of god-themed armors going on with this one. So you'll be kind of getting bits of armor and sort of god faction-related crests to sort of piece
so it's
them together.
A bit like the blade pieces and hilts from God Wars 1. We've got armor pieces.
So we're going with armor this time.
Armor hilts.
Yep. Yeah. Armor hilts.
And then.
So go on then. So these are the unique weapons that we've got from
Gregorovic.
So here we go.
Bam. Look at that.
We have
I like the way it folds out as well as you unsheath it.
We have those awesome throwing glaives. These are going to be cool. So these are like similar to the crystal chakrams. They're going to be unlimited.
Yep. They're unlimited ammo. Thrown weapons. So they are. Hang on, let me think. We're doing some interesting things with the weapons in God Wars 2. So they're going to be a requirement of 85 for wear requirement, but they're going to be level 80 damage, but with level 90 accuracy. So we're doing something a little bit different with our God Wars weapons.
Yeah. So the idea is it's not going to be as much damage for doing like your Slayer task, but if you're fighting a boss and you're a little bit under leveled, this will be able to consistently and accurately hit them.
Hopefully they'll be the
Make
kind
up
of
for
like
it a little bit.
entry-level bossing gear, which should be quite nice.
And what tier is the armor mod avatar?
So we've got this is our tier 85 armor. So the way that our armor works is we've got a tier 80 and a tier 85 version. So you'll make the tier 80 version to start with the kind of empty armor and the crests, and then you'll be able to upgrade that into the tier 85 gear, and the tier 85 will degrade back into the tier 80 stuff.
Should we show them what this special hybrid armor does?
So
this is unique to this armor set. Let's just say it's not on the other ones as well.
Yeah. We've got a full set, and we've got a melee set, a magic set, a range set, and this is the hybrid set that's coming from the Sliske boss.
Cool.
And because we wanted the hybrid set to do something a little bit cooler, it's got a cool set effect on it. So if we select effect on here. So basically what this gear will do is this is your tier 80/85 War Priest armor now. So if you have previous War Priest gear, you'll be able to unlock the War Priest effects on this gear, and you'll be able to hot swap them out of combat at any point.
And the cool thing about this is the previous War Priest sets require 5 pieces, but obviously this is only 3 pieces.
It's a 3-piece
So you'll be able to wear your cool boots, or you'll be able to wear, your swanky gloves.
Yeah. So hopefully this will be the kind of go-to hybrid stuff we wanted.
Yeah, in certain situations.
Yeah,
it'd be pretty cool.
we know that War Priest is the popular hybrid gear. And we didn't just want to release just another, a higher level set of hybrid stuff and kind of make the War Priest stuff a little bit, bit kind of.
People might consider
make it obsolete.
Void.
That's the word I was looking for. Obsolete.
People might now consider taking this in place of Void.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
So Panic Farm God Wars 1.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Have we got anything else for this? Do you want
for this section?
I guess we can walk.
Do you want to say what the thing that they should have spotted on the
we can
instance interface
we can handle that. We'll leave them. We'll leave them.
We'll see if they spot it for round 2.
We'll address it for round 2.
Okay.
But yeah. So this is what we're going into next.
This is the same one. I'll tell you over.
All right. Okay. Well, I think that's.
Yep. To the
That's
sofa.
Our kind of quick crash course on
over to
Sliske
you
boss.
guys.
All right, looking nice. Okay, I think the guys are going to come and join us on the sofa now to answer some questions, and they will be going back to the computers a little bit later on to show off some of the Zaros boss stuff, I believe, or faction. So yeah, welcome to the sofa. Something I didn't mention, but everyone here is actually all combat council, aren't they?
Yep.
I think
Represent.
So. It was last time I
Just
checked.
the camera angle
In
change.
this way, help you
Everyone
feel a
like
bit more
nice,
alone.
comfy. Yeah, man, I like space on the sofa.
Whee!
There you are. Wow, you are really close together.
Yeah. John, move up.
Cool.
Ugh.
We're a very close team.
It is super warm in here today as well.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm wearing a hoodie, but...
Okay, let's start with the Godboss questions. Okay, Chigsy asks, Mod Ramen confirmed that there were 6 boss pets. Is it safe to assume that we would get 2 from Vindicta and 1 from Gregorovic?
That is a sensible thought. You can keep thinking it if you want.
Okay, so you're not revealing it for sure. Ruggers 1000, will the bosses coincide with any Slayer tasks, not including Soul Reaper, similar to how Kriara works with Aviance?
Aviance,
yeah. Whatever.
There is a cool little thing inside the dungeon, which we won't talk about much, but
okay.
There is nothing saying that Cyrodiil will assign an NPC that these count for, though.
I think we actually already said what the cool thing was on the previous stream.
All right, cool.
But no, they don't. They don't count for any existing Slayer tasks.
Okay, cool. Young Link asks, will Dragonbone bolts have an effect in Vindicta's boss fight?
They don't at the moment. We might be able to put those in.
Yeah, shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Famous words.
Except if they're too good.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the reason, is obviously we want to kind of make sure that all the bosses are very, very kind of even to across the board on launch, and sort of have it. We don't really want to have any kind of arbitrary requirements for doing some of the bosses over some of the others. So,
yeah, we very much want to keep them on level ground with what gear.
But yeah,
players
if
should
we
have.
do anything, it won't be anything drastic.
Cool. Gabeko asks, will God Wars Dungeon 2 feature only generals, or will there be lieutenants too?
That one's for you, Doug.
Oh, okay. There's only the generals. Some of the bosses do have accomplices, but it's not like God Wars 1 where you walk in, there's my boss, there's his 3 buddies who are all lieutenants and aggro me at the same time. It's a little bit closer to what some of our newer boss fights do, like Araxor, where a thing comes in at a specified time.
Cool, nice one. Mr. Mouse asks, we've been told that there is going to be a reputation system and have even received an item related to the system. And so I wonder, will there be reputation losses for killing troops, Lunks bosses, on the side you are fighting for, or will they turn non-hostile and attackable when you are fighting for their side?
Reputation only ever goes up because it's really annoying if I've worked all this time on my Zamorak reputation and then I want to go and fight that boss. Particularly if I'm something like an Iron Man, where I can't go and buy those items. The only way I can get them is by farming them. So yeah, they turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
Video games, lol.
Yeah.
So you can still attack the enemies, the mobs that you're aligned with.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Cricketer 1. Would these bosses have threshold systems for boss pets? If yes, would this be similar to God Wars Dungeon 1 bosses or different?
Yes, they do have threshold systems, and they will be similar to that of Nexus.
Cool. Kevin Klon, will we see Slayer monsters like the spiritual mages for God Wars Dungeon 1? And if so, will they be the same with just different gods, or will they have different drops requirements? So I said from God Wars Dungeon 1.
There will be some Slayer monsters dotted around the area. I think at the moment they will probably be different combat level to their original versions,
right,
and have different drops, but they'll have the same Slayer level requirement on them, and it means that you can kill them for your Slayer task at the same time as killing them for kill count.
Right. Do you imagine, do you expect players to be going there to do their Slayer tasks, or do you expect them to go to other places?
I would expect if you want to get the kill count and you have a Slayer task, you would kill both birds with one stone, but you probably, if you had your Slayer task, you'd probably do it at the original place. We don't want to entirely replace, like, the Slayer Tower, for example.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love getting Cyrodiil rings, mate?
Cool. Queen's Companion. What is the relative difficulty of the new bosses in comparison to the already made bosses?
Go on, Roman.
Wait, I forgot.
What's your
I didn't hear the
estimate?
question.
What's the comparative difficulty of the bosses?
All right. Sort of around next.
They
Yeah,
are less-
around next, just less.
They're
Next
less
hits like
demanding than Next.
Yes.
They are less mechanically complex.
Yeah. Next is a special case.
Yeah, I mean, we want them to be the next level of God Wars, basically. I mean, like, if you think of the kind of challenges that were the God Wars 1 bosses were providing at launch, we kind of want to do something similar to that. Now, I mean, obviously, we've got, we're introducing God Wars 2 at a point where we have gear that's scaling beyond it. But if you're on level for God Wars 2, you should be expected to have a similar challenge to on-level God Wars 1.
Yeah. If you're rocking up with your seismics and your 99s across the board, then it's not going to be difficult, honestly.
Yeah, we want this to be accessible to a lot of people. There's no point releasing hard bosses over and over and over. We just want something to add into the ladder and work your way up to Virago or raids.
Cool. Tomo asks, also, will the new bosses drop their own sets of war priests with their own unique effects, like in the current God Wars dungeon?
No.
No?
We can add it. Shouldn't be too difficult.
I like that you say
4
that.
new war priests.
I like that you say that about everything.
Not 4 new war priests, nah.
We've got sets
The
of
old,
armor.
like Zamorak, the
Well-
Zamorak minions may drop the old Zamorak pieces.
I personally, we haven't actually discussed this. We can maybe discuss it now.
Yeah.
I don't want to continue. I want to drop War Priest from.
That's
I
fine.
want to leave
with
that in
Dag
the
on
old
this one.
dungeon.
I'm a dig on this one.
But there is, as we just showed, there are new armors. So you still get this new armor. It's just not War Priest.
Who's mod neck? Oh,
Steg.
okay.
All right, mate.
Oh, I shouldn't have got rid of the beard.
I do miss the beard.
I missed the beard.
Nice one. Okay. Why Sliske hasn't been using Gregorovic so far, e.g. at the rituals and the other Sliske related quests? According to tales, he is hardly a secret. It's a bit of a lore question there.
Don't look at me, I'm nothing
yeah.
to do. I'm nothing to do with Sliske, mate.
Ramen, you're the expert.
On
from
the
lore
spot,
forums.
law, Ramen, go.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Essentially,
Good one.
why is this the first time we're seeing Gregorovic? Why isn't he featured in any other content that Sliske's been involved in?
He's just been off doing his own thing. I mean, he's
He's been chilling in some bars.
been,
Like,
having a blast. He's out and about.
Sliske hasn't needed him. Should we just go with that?
Sliske
Yeah?
hasn't needed him. He's got his Barrows brothers.
He's been broing about.
Yeah, there is bros.
Us mod Ollie.
Yeah. Tweet Mod Ollie. He'll love it.
Maybe, yeah.
Great answer.
Are you even on this stream?
I am. I'm here.
Are
Okay.
you really?
I'll listen to
Yeah,
this question.
we'll see how you progress through some of these other questions. I guess. How are Sliske and Gregorovic prepared for a sustained battle? Do they have necromancers?
Yeah.
Sliske does.
Will they be featuring in this God Wars?
Yes. I believe we saw them in the previous stream.
Yep.
If you take a look back at last week's stream, you'll see a lot of
But they're old and outdated, and I'm updating them tonight.
some
Sweet.
old and updated NPCs running around.
But
that
by the time you get to
represent
play
each
it, they'll be
faction's
new and
cosmetics.
shiny.
They'll be swanky and cool.
Cool. Will we be able to speak to the generals, i.e. talk to Vindicta about her father, Hannibus, with completion of OOAK? What's that?
One of a kind.
Okay, yeah. I knew that.
No, we haven't got any. The lore that we have surrounding the bosses is already, or the lore that we're intending to offer currently is in the mysteries. So any lore outside of that, we're not going to be offering sort of conversations with the generals and stuff in at God Wars 2 at release. They're all cool characters. They can be used and most likely will be used outside of God Wars 2, much like the God Wars 1 bosses were. But yeah, we'll see what happens with those.
Yeah, I think we see that like with using Nomad a lot more recently and stuff. We see what characters players really like attach themselves to and stuff like that, and we bring them out a bit more often and stuff like that, and involve them. Okay. What?
It's chats on form.
I saw what you read.
any golden? What have I missed?
I'm beautiful, apparently.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Raman. Don't mean to hurt your feelings.
Will the level 80 oh no, that's an invention question. Okay, I'm going to leave it there and we're going to go back to some more general questions, which hopefully do involve you guys as well. And then after that, you guys will be heading back to the computers to show us some more Goggles Dungeon stuff related to Zaros this time. So Metal Havoc, when do you expect to release another Tale or Bottle Quest?
When do we personally, or when in general?
I guess
just in general.
I guess Tale. Well, first of all, the Tale, the Tales of Gobble's Dungeon 2.
Yeah,
that was what it was called, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that went down pretty well, didn't it? You were all happy with that.
So that was received quite well. So we're definitely going to revisit it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll be more Tales in the future.
Yeah, I don't think we actually have another Bottle Quest or Tale specifically.
But there are loads of storylines
we
can
can
deal
deal
with.
But it's definitely going to
We
be.
definitely know what like our big hitter updates are for the rest of the year, but there might be some.
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
Bottle Quests
the
or
Tales is specifically that kind of format is specifically intended to sort of like be reused.
Yeah.
At a later date
and
with
specifically to accompany a larger update.
Yeah. So I guess we say you expect some more maybe throughout the rest of the year, but right now we don't have any definite ones coming up in the very near future. Okay, additional ring slots have been discussed by the players for years. Do you have any plans on implementing it and maybe having a QA team balance it?
Well,
no. Also, why would the QA team balance it when we've got game designers and balancers?
The QA guys were always
they are good, to be honest with you. I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking you. It's good.
Look, you move over a bit more.
No. So currently, the way in which the rings are balanced is that they have to be hot swapped. You can't have both of them at once. We did ages ago, I can't remember, talk about a stats and an effect slot, so you can have the stats from one and the effects of the other. But it's certainly not something you're going to see anytime soon. Yeah. Because there's just better things we can do with combat, and that time that we could spend balancing both of them could be better spent elsewhere.
Yeah, I seem to remember having a good few discussions about it about maybe a year ago or so.
Yeah.
And the conclusion we did come to is it wasn't something we're going to do.
Yeah.
But never say never sort of thing. Potentially for the future, but it's not on our list of things to do anytime soon. Seriously asks, are you planning to use the Godless in any upcoming content?
I hope so, they're awesome. Mate, Virago's with the Godless now.
Yeah. Is he definitely with the Godless?
No, he's not.
He's just associated with them?
I am of the earth.
Okay.
There we go.
Good.
There we go. That's why Virago's
Could you maybe answer all your questions as Virago the rest of today?
That was Scopulous.
Oh.
Virago is more of, I am the earth.
Okay.
Or something like that. I don't know.
What's Scopulous
My voice can't go deep enough.
Why have we voice acted this stuff? I don't understand. Okay. Ignore this asks, once before we've discussed the idea of making fletching a free-to-play skill. Is that something you would still consider or are considering? We did the free-to-play update recently.
Yeah.
It was something that I did take a lot of feedback from the players as we were kind of like deciding what we wanted to do. I remember being on Reddit, there was like player surveys and such.
Oh dear.
What have you done?
And it's not something we're going to do. We did discuss, but it's not something we're looking to do. Are they saying one for fletching or one for ramen?
No, for a mod ramen impression stream.
Cool.
Ollie loves my South African
I'll
impression.
Typing one for that.
Let's not do that.
You can absolutely not do that.
Okay, JD's put in the one for me. Cool. So that's a no to making fletching a free-to-play skill, to be honest. Okay. Rio Wellard, can invention be considered a level 80 skill when it comes to collecting some post-quest rewards? For example, the chest locked behind level 70 all stat requirements in Dishonor Amongst Thieves.
It sounds like a good thing to do, considering how it's locked. I
think there's
probably need to discuss it with some bigger names.
Yeah, I think there's things like how invention doesn't currently contribute to your Jack of Trade skill.
Yeah.
And I think that's all stuff we will make happen when we kind of lift the embargo on being able to have amnesty on like bonus XP and such. So yeah, I think that's a likely thing we will do in the future. And then one for you, Morpie. Any further word on letting us open interfaces during combat?
So I'm not going to go too much into this because the mod involved doesn't really want to go into too much detail. But we are looking at things, and there might be an interface that does it soon as a test. But that's all I'm going to say. But we are looking into it.
Cool. Okay then, I think we'll leave it there for general questions for now and head back to the computers, where you guys will be talking Zaros, right?
Yeah,
this time, yeah? Cool, nice one. I should have really left that question for you at the end there, because now
because we've got a transition. Someone from the chat. These are motorbike boots.
Oh yeah, I meant to ask, what are those?
I'm not actually
really
fashionable enough to wear boots. These are just motorbike boots.
Right.
They save my ankles from destroying themselves if I fall off my bike.
Cool. Are we ready to head to the computers? Yep. Okay, we're heading over there now.
It's all good.
Hello, welcome back. We're here
back.
again.
But
So this is the Zaros area.
hold on, but let's get an epic walk up.
You've missed the boat on that one a little bit, haven't you?
Right.
Here we go.
Oh.
Dun dun.
Now this is the Zaros environment. Well, I haven't seen this before.
No, this is new. So yeah, I mean, you can kind of see what we were saying earlier about the theming all the areas.
Yeah.
And you can
really
also
nicely
see,
and how they're all coming up quite differently.
you can also see the answer to the earlier Slayer monster question. There will be more monsters milling about here.
Yeah.
It's just the environment isn't entirely done yet.
Rather than running around, finding all your slay creatures, there will be certain little areas with clusters of them, just so it, well, everyone's going to cannon hellhounds in the dungeon anyway. But
Let's go.
let's
do this.
All right, let's go in. Dun dun.
So this is our Zaros boss.
Here's
Here's the
our
environment.
yellow
well,
box.
So this will be the Zaros boss. So this is Vindicta
And Gregorovic.
and Gregorovic.
Special guest.
Yes. Yes.
So as you can see, this environment is lit slightly differently to the Sliske one. It's Zaros coloured, for one. We can also see there's some floating platforms. I think there's fires on some of them.
Yeah, there should be some fires. I mean,
there's no more
it's
fires,
not,
we took them out.
Not completely.
Well, there's scorches.
But yeah, these little floating crystals, they float.
Yeah? Do they?
Look, I'm going to the boss now.
mod obvious over here.
All right.
Okay. So, what is the thing on this interface that people have hopefully noticed? Does anyone, have either of you two noticed? Do you know what I'm noticing?
There's a fire in the background
noticed.
there.
I know what you're
You see
talking
it?
about.
There's a fire. I need to update that.
Yep.
Good.
So
Let's go in, shall we?
Oh,
let's check this out. So this is one of the coolest spawning anims ever.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
look
we
at
go.
that.
Are you ready for bosses?
Bam! Free
There we
Elysian in
go.
the chat, and Mitch Woods, and a few others. Actually, quite a lot of people.
Yep,
Those are the
there we
ones
go.
I'm going to call
I've got
out.
it.
all right, 3, 2,
We
1.
have
teleport.
a challenge mode, and how much did that instance cost, Mod Avatar?
What? I don't know. How much did it cost?
Didn't appear to cost a damn thing.
300k or free? Who knows?
Don't do that again.
I'm sorry.
So these bosses, instead of doing hard modes for them,
Yep.
we're doing challenge modes, which is a lot like a hard mode, but we're limiting it to only one player can enter.
Yep. So they're basically hard solo versions of the bosses, and they'll be coming with the extra drop chances and stuff on the boss pets.
Slightly improved drops in general.
Yep. So they will be the higher. They're the farmable kind of the version of the boss that you want, and if you're not going in with a big group or anything. So the way that the instances actually work with God Wars Dungeon 2 is we've tied it into KC, So to make the KC a little bit more interesting and kind of tie it into the whole system, this time round you'll actually be paying KC for an hour's worth of boss instance. So you'll fork up your KC, and then you can visit and revisit that instance as much as you want across those next 60 minutes. So hopefully that will make the KC requirement a lot less of a pain if you kind of go in and I've forgotten something, I need to go back out and get it, or you have a bad run and you need to use that extra bit of food and you've got to go and bank. It means you are guaranteed to get an hour's worth of bossing, and however many kills you can get done in that time is however many you can get.
And KC does persist over?
Oh yes, KC persists across leaving the dungeon now as well. So you can stockpile your KC and you can go on a merry jaunt somewhere else.
Yeah. So when
do
you
whatever else you want to do,
the
and
dungeon,
then come back and it's still there.
You've got your brews. You realise they're actually super strengths, and you're like, oh damn, I had to help it out. You can come back in, and all your KC is still there. Let's show the armor first.
Yeah, let's have a look at the armor.
Ooh.
So this is one of the other armors that you'll be able to assemble, as we said before, a bit like old god swords, hilt plus shards.
Yep. So this is our melee gear, which will be coming from when you combine the dormant armor with the Zaros crest. This is the Zaros armor that you'll get.
And this is the melee set.
Yep. Yep. It's the melee stuff. And if we have a look, we also have the weapon from Vindicta. So this is our,
check that out.
Yeah, this is our tier 85 halberd. Well, it's our damage 80, accuracy 90, wear requirement 85 halberd. So
It's
quite
gonna
nice.
be cool.
It's gonna be good.
It looks cool.
I like
as well.
how, yeah.
It's a bit.
Wanted to do something a little bit more than just it's just another sword. It's like, no, she's got this cool lance, so we can. It is a halberd, so it's got that extra attack range on it, which is always appreciated.
And some of your abilities do an AoE version.
Yep. So,
What else can we ramble about? Look at this. Look at this nice little touch. I love it.
Cool. Okay.
I'm glad you like it.
Look at this horse.
Look at this.
All right. Shall we go back to the sofas?
Yeah, I think we should before.
Nice one. Thanks for showing that, guys. And next week, the watch will be back to show off the other bosses, I believe. Yes. They're joining us on the sofa again for some more questions. Whilst they do that, Mopai, you're looking forward to building up your KC, are you?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love getting KC.
Cool, nice one. Okay, then.
It's going to be awesome.
So we're in regards to the level 80 gear that you guys have showed. I'm assuming this question is related, hopefully so. Will it be degradable or not? Also, how is it defense-wise compared to, say, let's Barrows?
So you will make tier 80 armor, and it is regular tier 80 stats. One of them's a hybrid set, so it's like other hybrid sets, so it's a little bit below.
It's not degrading. The tier 80
is
stuff
not
is
degrading.
not degrading.
The 80 you can keep forever. There's an 85 version that's made with some resources that drop from the dungeon, and those degrade back down into the 80 version. Cool. It doesn't go to dust, and to repair it, you need to pay the resources from the dungeon. It's not gold.
There's
you
God
can,
Wars
do that all within the dungeon. You can,
Yep. God Wars 2
just sit in there forever.
resources. We've got resources
tier 80 power, I think.
It'll keep
Yes,
it, I should say.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll
it is
keep
power
the
armor.
dungeon rolling out money. And also, might I add, the weapons are coins only for now.
Yes, sorry. Right.
Yeah, you better be sorry.
And will it be augmentable or tradable?
The 80 version is augmentable. The 80 version is tradable.
Hang on. The 80 versions are tradable.
The resources that are made into the 80 version are tradable.
Yep.
The resources that are made into the 85 version, tradable. The 85 version itself isn't tradable, and at the moment isn't augmentable. we're going to look into that at the same time the tier 90 things like seismics and tectonic are going to be made augmentable.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that whatever our high level augmenting process and decision is, that's what we go for with the God Wars Dungeon 2 stuff. We didn't want to kind of make our own system or sort of try and standardize something before we've actually got an implementation that works across the whole game. So once that high level augmentation approach is decided upon, we'll be rolling it back into the tier 85 God Wars gear.
It's definitely being thought about. Like, I know it's something that Mod Timber is having a lot of discussions with people about. It's just a question of coming up with a system that isn't too awkward to use and doesn't devalue important materials.
Chat wants to know why you kill Nex.
Nex, Nex is awesome. But you're saying rip Nex because we have new tier 85 armor, but we have tier 90 armor, which is, better than Nex armor in a sense. Some of this armor we have doesn't have like the Constitution.
It hasn't got the
Constitution plus
effect on it.
The drop rates are nowhere near as nice as Nex.
Yeah, no, like Nex will still be used by people.
Yeah, so these bosses are, because they're mechanically less complicated, the fights take less time than Nex. They aren't quite as quite as good gear per hour as you might expect from that.
Well, and also to expect Nex to be the top of our PvE game forever, like that's just like, we get to a point where it's like, okay, like Nex had a pretty decent run.
Yeah.
It's time for us to do some new stuff.
Until next hard mode. I didn't say anything.
Okay then. Rainlow, will we need Dragonfire protection for the Zaros boss?
Again, no. Like the Dragonbane bolts thing, it would be adding like an extra kind of requirement to that boss that the others wouldn't necessarily have. So it's not going to be necessary.
Cool. Lethal Intent. How did Vindicta end up in Zaros' service, and what motivates her to stay? As far as we know, she never had any contact with Zaros. No,
so she hasn't actually ever met Zaros, but the kind of strong ties that she's inherited from Gorvek, like as he sort of raised her, she's got this kind of very strong telepathic link with him, and he has very strong loyal ties to Zaros, and they've kind of via sort of mental osmosis have kind of transferred into Vindicta. So she's got that kind of, even though she's never actually met Zaros, she has that sense of duty.
Cool. Gebeko, will there be any invention-related drops we can get?
So all of the new equipment dropping and all the things that turn into that new equipment can be disassembled. They will disassemble into exciting new materials, which have exciting new perks related to them, which can be unlocked at, I'm going to say 89 invention, and I'm going to be wrong, and someone's going to get very mad on the internet.
Just don't promise it. Okay, this Honored Raven. Is there any grudge between, and help me out if I'm saying this wrong, Hellware and Vindicta, or will they be more focused on their own personal grudges?
They've not necessarily got any explicit beef with each other. Other than the fact that kind of all of their existence there is sort of mutually exclusive to an extent. Yeah. Outside of all of them going for the same goal, they've not got any explicit issue with each other.
Cool. Will Vindicta jump on the dragon part way through the fight to gain abilities to damage us with?
Maybe.
Chekhov's dragon.
That would be really cool if that happened, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Will Vindicta have the ability to summon grot worms like QBD can?
No.
Yeah, no. QBD only summons grot worms because her flesh is rotten with them, and they're inside of her.
Gorvek's flesh looks pristine.
Yeah, it's pretty.
He runs a tight ship.
Cool. How did Vindicta survive so long? I believe it was stated in a previous Q&A that dragon riders have a similar lifespan to humans?
Yep. So she was in a state of suspended animation for a extended period of time around the QBD cave. So the sort of the dreamlike stasis aura around the QBD's environment has allowed her to effectively stay in almost suspended animation for a longer period of time.
Cool. Is Gregorovic a dragon or a wyvern? Am I saying that right?
No.
Yeah, we
there is
conversation about this earlier.
Yeah, there is. There's precedents for the dragon riders. Each of the dragon riders that came to Gielinor have their own unique dragon. It's a dragon wyvern. Large lizard of some sort.
Right.
Like the KBD. I suppose he's technically a dragon. I suppose with his name being that, but like he's not what you would necessarily consider the same sort of genus as the rest of the dragons.
You would say that he's an outlier dragon.
Yeah, he is.
And the same is true of Gregorovic.
Yeah. So Gregorovic is his own species of giant lizard thing.
Cool. Will these bosses be similar to Araxi, where there is rotations?
No, it's not rotations for any of them.
No. Once you have learnt these bosses, you can farm them to your heart's content.
If you're good enough to farm them.
As the gauntlet's thrown down.
What tier will the weapons and armors be that the bosses will drop? I think you've already
much
kind of
answered
covered
this
this, is
earlier,
it?
wasn't
Yeah. From the release of these bosses going to be from the release, are these bosses going to be included in Reaper tasks from death?
They're in the system. Yes, I will get it done tonight to make sure he assigns them. As in, they are. I've done them. I just need to make up some chat for what they're all about. So yes.
Is there going to be a hard mode version for these bosses?
There's only going to be challenge mode.
There's the challenge mode.
Which, to reiterate, one man only.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Or woman.
Is that something possibly in the future you consider, like harder versions of challenge mode even?
Maybe.
Possibly.
It's just not.
We're early days yet.
Yeah.
We've not
No
even
force.
launched.
Cool. Is there going to be an option to go to the various Gobble Dungeon 2 bosses via Max Guild portal?
Yeah.
Cool.
They're plugged in.
Which boss monster was that an impersonation of?
That was Viraga still.
No, that wasn't Viraga. Yeah.
How many kills per hour can we expect for the Gobbles Dungeon 2 bosses?
Ramen said 3 minutes to me earlier was his kill time.
Don't say that, because if they get faster, then...
Which they will.
They will do.
Yeah,
they
they
will.
will.
Absolutely.
Where's Ramen on the QBD
I
timer
was
thing?
number one.
Oh, we're getting out the QBD challenge times.
Here, bring it out.
Just to show you.
There we go.
Yeah, boy.
So,
So
He
Ryan
was
is
second on the thing.
Second.
if your QBD time
he's
is 2
fairly
minutes
competent.
29, your God Wars 2 time will be 3 minutes.
In
Yeah.
2 minutes 29 in tier 70 without Dragonbane bolts.
Man.
Let's just throw that one in there.
I throw the gauntlet down for max gear. See.
For those who don't know where that scoreboard come from, that comes from our Good Morning Gielinor streams, which are once per month, right? Tomorrow is the next Good Morning Gielinor.
Once a tomorrow.
Surely.
What Johnny trying to beat Mod Ramans and Mod John C was at the top there,
Yeah,
wasn't
he was
he?
in the
Yeah.
top place.
At the top there. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I've lost my where I am now. What are the, kind of continuing on from that then. What is the fastest kill times you guys have done during internal testing? How long has a single tester been able to stay without banking?
So we don't usually test how long we can stay without banking. That's not really... It's part of balancing. We will do some tests. So we'll run a 10-minute, use that, and then we'll times that by 6 usually.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that supplies can run out, but we do prepare for what an hour supplies would be.
Yeah.
So fastest kills are looking around 2 minutes, but that's when the bosses were new. They didn't have certain attacks, so we'll see what happens on
That's
release.
for normal mode bosses as well, not the challenge modes. The challenge modes will probably be more difficult.
They'll be around solo next.
They're going to have more hit points anyway, so they'll be soaking more damage.
And are you the fastest killer in the team, Ramen?
I'm the only one that can kill it. I'm kidding.
The only one.
Everyone can kill it.
You are kidding.
Who's the best out of the watch?
I'm going to say me.
I'm going to say me.
I'm going to say Dag.
John, hook me up.
You want me?
Okay. Will we be able to fight the bosses as a group?
Yes, normal mode.
Cool. Okay then, I believe that's all the questions I've had for Gobbles Dungeon this week. As I said before, we will be back next week. I don't know if it's going to be different watch members or it's going to be yourselves again.
It's going to be me, Dag, and Ollie, I think.
Yep.
Cool. And you're going to go through the other two bosses.
I've been ousted.
Where's Mod Jesus going to be?
I don't know. I'll be
Doing Jesus face?
yeah, performing miracles or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Making wine into water. No, water into wine.
Okay, so the guys will be back next week. So we are running, well, we've still got 5 minutes or so, but we will do our Ninja Quickfire. Usually this is kind of my thing, but today I get to answer the questions.
I think I'm ready.
Yeah, I haven't gone through the answers with them, with you, so you make sure you give the right answers, yeah?
Well, last time we disagreed, didn't we? So
Yeah, so...
this time you can't disagree with me because
Yeah.
answering.
All right, let's see how they go. I'm not going to ask them very quickly. I can speak fairly quickly, but not as fast as Mod Osborne. So let's begin. Can Ghost Hunter armor have a passive effect, info displayed, like War Priest and Barrow's armor do?
Yes.
Could experience gained from the Strongholder security mobs be readjusted based on the level increase they got?
Yes, and the HP.
Cool. Can we surge in the Max Guild?
Soon, TM.
Can we have some non-MTX way of putting a stack of runes in our ammo slot? Maybe just putting one type of rune as ammo in our pocket slot.
There's murmurs around the office of doing that.
Cool. Can the total level requirement for World 48 be increased? At the moment it's 2,400, which was instituted before Divination came out. Can you bump it up to 2,700?
2,700, no, because that's ridiculous. If we're going to do it by the same ratio, it would be 2,600.
Okay.
So we'll look at bumping that up again.
Cool. Currently, the Infinity Ethereal outfit doesn't detect when a Wicked Hood is stored in POH armor case. Can this be fixed?
Yeah.
Can we have a search box in the Emotes tab level interface?
Maybe.
I've had bonus experience, not me personally, but this person is asking the question. I've had bonus experience on my Gillinor Games rings for 4 years that I've been unable to claim. Can it be updated so I can claim it like other bonus experience items?
No, that's cheeky. The way you get the bonus XP from Gillinor Games is to do Gillinor Games, and the rings gave you boosted XP during Gillinor Games. So it's not bonus XP you need to just claim. It was a bonus to doing Gillinor Games. So no.
Right, so you had to get it at the time.
Yeah.
I can say Gillinor Games will be back this year, but I extremely doubt you'll be able to get that XP from that. Can hand cannons be graphically updated to match the more detailed versions used by Chaos Dwarf hand cannoneers?
Yes.
Cool. That's it for our quick fire. Before we finish, is there anything anyone in the team here wants to say? Any questions you've noticed in the chat?
I've noticed a couple of people asking if Vindicta is female. Yes. Yes,
Okay.
she is.
Cool.
So that's that one.
New crush for Mob Runner?
Nah, Nex is
Yeah.
my waifu, man. Always. Always. Although the Twin Furies are...
As a reminder, at the start, we have posted a statement on the acquisition stuff. I believe Mod JD can always post a link again. We have put a statement out, so if you want to read that, it's on the forums. Link will be in the chat soon. Mod Shawnee will be back on stream at 9 p.m. UTC later today. He'll be doing some God Wars dungeoning. Sorry, I read that as dungeoneering. I was like, what? God Wars dungeoning in preparation for God Wars 2. The God Wars Dungeon Community event's going live on Thursday at Reset. So is that another stream?
No, it's not streaming now.
Oh, no, sorry. Of course, it's there's game content. So there's, I believe it was in the BTS this week. So that is starting this Thursday. That was where Mod Krista was discussing preparing for that. There's a Chronicle open beta going live next Wednesday. So check that out. It's a really great game. Sorry? And the community team will be streaming that. That'd be great. Do check that out. I believe we've all played Chronicle here. It's pretty awesome, right?
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I believe Mod Ollie is probably the better one out of the watches here.
Yeah,
He got to rank 1, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he no-buffed it for a while.
I was rank 2 on the first
Yeah,
leaderboard
rank
came
1
out,
though.
because it was based on win percent, and I played
One game.
one game.
Nice. Next week's developer QA, I've said it a few times, but Mod Deg, Mod Ramen will be back with Mod Ollie to discuss the other 2 bosses from the God Wars dungeon. And as we've already said as well, Good Morning Gillenor is back tomorrow morning at 9:30 game time. And Mod Shawnee will be taking on the QBD and trying to beat Mod John C's best time. So that's everything. No final words or anything?
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
See ya.
See ya.